Why you think the partner cause you feel so rude? Think outside the box, then you like it.
Welcome to the Kpop cast. This is another edition of Kpop song and hallyu content recommendations for the first week of November. We're recording this on November 4th. And for this special episode, I'm joined by DJ John. Welcome to the show, DJ John.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Yes, and also joining DJ John, we are proud to welcome the resident thirst person, as she described herself right before this recording. It's Mandarin Mama, aka Virginia Duan. Welcome, Virginia.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
All right, so welcome to the show, guys. Audience, listeners, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and join the community on Slack. We've got links to both the newsletter for Hardhead and Tutorial and a link to join the Slack in the episode description. And now for our K-pop hit replays. All right, Virginia, what's your hit replay? The song that's making you hit replay in K-pop this week?
Well, this week my hit replay is 10's Birthday. It's a super smooth R&B track with a super sexy vibe about treating his girl like it's her birthday. And something about cake, I think.
Like tonight's your birthday. Every second, every minute make me wanna celebrate it. Everything about you perfect, just the way your mama made it. You're the best, you're my first place. Show me sweet in a million ways. Baby, we don't need no reason, baby, we don't need to wait. Let's make tonight your birthday.
All right, and if you don't already know, 10 is a Thai singer and dancer based in South Korea and China. He debuted with the SM group NCT and is, I guess, mostly part of the subunits NCTU and Wavy. And he was also part of the super group Super M. He is super hot. And, this is one of his, sorry, that was just commentary. And then this is one of his solo projects through the SM Station project. And then, like, what is it, like SM Lab or Station Lab, or I forget what it's called. They have
SM
so many weird
Station,
names, but
yeah.
yeah, so that's what it is. It's described, Birthday is described as like an R&B dance song with a dreamy vibe. I don't really get dreamy, I get sexy as fuck, but that's just me. Just me. It's a hit replay because it's just so good, guys. Just go listen to it. You're just like, oh, well, all right then. Something about cake, and you're like, oh, okay. And you're like, I don't know what kind of cake they're referring to. Is it the Rihanna kind of cake? Is it like the...
I think it's supposed to be all those things. Really, it's whatever whatever your heart desires, because he wants it all.
That's right.
And
like
I'm
tonight's
I'll
your
give it
birthday.
to you. Yes. And I'm like, okay, I accept. And also, like, it's a hit replay not only just for the track itself, but the MV. And it starts off a little bit more like stayed. Stayed is not the right word, but like it's not as like, and then it progresses and you're like, oh, all right. So then you have to watch again. Make sure you catch all the details, right? Of like the abs and the lats, and like you have to make sure the lighting catches everything. So
yeah,
so,
you know, actually on that point, I kind of like how they have like directional lighting and they use the shadows to really pronounce and like each of the bumps and curves.
I feel like they're just giving the fans what they want, and they just...
That's right. Fan service.
Yes. So I'm a really simple person. I think it's a good song, and I would listen to it even without the MV, but the MV...
Doesn't hurt.
No. I mean, it hurts, but in a good way.
Oh.
It hurts so good.
So,
I love the clock sounds. It like for some reason, just the way it's applied in this song, it adds to that like sultriness of the music. Yeah.
And it gives a lot of Taemin vibes.
Oh yeah. Taemin,
Like-
and I might even say Rain. A little bit of Rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I like Rain. I just don't like his face. Sorry, controversial opinion, but whatever.
Hey,
Put a bag over his face and we'll be fine, but that's fine.
I guess
I'm a
I
horrible
say
person.
Rain just because of the way like his like clothes have like a cutout for his like his abs in his chest. Like that's a
Oh,
very
yeah.
Rain move, you know?
I mean, hey, the dude is 40 years old, you know, or 40 plus, isn't he? So
Yeah.
you know, I gotta
yeah.
give him props, you know. Rock it
Yeah.
till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, actually, his song was almost my hit replay for this
Oh,
week,
yeah,
believe
yeah.
it or not, with his Street Man Fighter team. That's
Oh, yeah,
another really
yeah.
good song we're checking out.
He's funny with Hyori.
Oh,
You ever
yeah.
watched it?
Yeah.
She just suns him
geez.
the whole time.
So Virginia's kid just got a cracked tooth right in the middle of this recording, so we're going to let her go and just carry on through the rest of this episode. So up next, it's my turn for my hit replay. And my song has very cringe English lyrics, mixed metaphors, but it grew on me. It's I-Dle's Nude.
Oh, I'm so shocked that you picked that.
Yes, I'm nude. Nude. I don't give a love. Baby, how do I look? Yeah, how do I look? Yeah, I did done that it go da 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 da. Baby, how do I look? Yeah, how do I look? Yeah, I did done that it go da 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 da.
All right, so if you didn't already know who Yoja I-Dle is, or G-I-Dle, they're a South Korean girl group formed by Kpop in 2018. And it consists of Soyeon, and her backup dancers. No, I'm just kidding.
And
So it's got
Soyeon.
Minnie, Miyeon, Soyeon, Yuki, and Chuhwa. Originally,
Yeah.
Seulgi was in the group, but left in 2021 due to
21.
controversy. I think we've discussed it in the show before.
Right.
What's notable about G-I-Dle or Yoja I-Dle is that one member has been heavily involved in the writing and production of a lot of the group's songs. Soyeon.
Which member is that, Peter?
Yeah, Soyeon. That's right. Yeah, Soyeon. In case you didn't know, for the record, it's Soyeon.
Your bias. I think, is that your ultimate bias of all biases?
You know, truthfully, like, I think Soyeon was super biased going from, when was it? Like her first solo song, and then Unpretty Rap Star was really good.
Oh, yeah.
But after that, I don't know. I think I'm into, of course, other idols as well. Like BB's really going strong. So
Maybe, oh, yeah.
anyway, like, yeah, I-Dle, the name of the group kind of came from none other than Soyeon, who suggested it to Cube when she was working on her song called I-Dle. However, it got mixed reactions because I-Dle also means children, I guess, in Korean. And I-Dle in English refers to someone who wants to avoid work. So they renamed it to parentheses G and then I-Dle. So I standing for individuality, the hyphen showing that the name has been divided into two parts, and Dul, I guess Dul, I don't know, the plural form of I
Dul.
in Korean to indicate that it's got
Dul.
multiple group members or multiple members representing different personalities gathering together. So, yeah, I thought that was always really interesting. So anyway,
That's cool.
Nude. What, John, you and I, we've both been following this song for some time.
Yeah.
Look, when it first came out, I was like, what the heck are they doing? Like,
Yeah.
as much as Soyeon is my bias, like the English lyrics were like very wonky face. Like, like what, you know, it's like just the English delivery didn't quite make a lot of sense on first read. And frankly,
Right.
also just watching the music video, you've got Marilyn Monroe, you've got Banksy with the the shredded artwork and like a cabaret theme,
Yeah.
like all together.
Yeah.
And it's like, is this what like Soyeon thinks of when she that these things are like thematically grouped together? Because to me, they're each very distinct, concepts and visuals and themes. But
So wait, what is the song that they're referencing for the melody? You know what I mean? What is that?
oh
you have any
gosh,
idea?
now that you mention it, I don't even know. But I think I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, it's like from some musical or something, but it's old. It's like, from the, I don't know. I don't even know. But it sounds like an old Broadway musical or something.
Or like, are you thinking maybe I want to say like Carmen, right? Or
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, that's definitely what they're. I mean, if it's not in the credits, like that they're ripping that off. I don't even know. But anyway, yeah, you're right about the cringe lyric. It is funny though. She gets away with it because she's cute. So she's just like blah blah blah. I don't speak English so good, but it's cute. It's like the actress from Minari. When she gets up and gets like an Oscar award and she doesn't speak very good English, but her personality's hilarious. So people are just like, yeah, that's cute, The same thing, like when I went to see BTS, like at the end when they're all doing their outro, it's like, V or somebody else doesn't speak English that well and they're just doing it. And all the girls around me are going, ah, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny.
Yeah. Like, and I think maybe that kind of goes along with the theme if I interpret the lyrics correctly. So it's a lot of I'm a dumb, pretty girl.
Is that
but
what the
owning
message is?
And because
Right.
like I'm self-made because of it. So maybe that kind of goes along with the Marilyn Monroe theme. Like obviously Marilyn Monroe wasn't a dumb person, but the
That's a
character
sad story.
caricature that she portrayed in a lot of her cinema and movies was to play off of that motif and like kind of profit off of it.
Yeah, so like kind of just taking advantage of it. It's kind of like when old people get really old and they act like they don't know what's going on, but if you like talk to some old people, they do know what's going on. They're just acting dumb because they don't want to deal with people. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing where like, I definitely know pretty girls that are just like act kind of stupid, but like, that their eye is on the prize, so that's to me, that's like empowerment.
Yeah. I mean, truthfully, like, I don't like that, is the like patriarchal, systems that that you have to work within
I know.
in order to like progress and advance. But
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's what the lyrics are, if I understand it correctly, or what it's about. So,
That's what it is.
it
But tell
usually
us, right?
yeah.
Tell us
like,
in the comments what you think, right?
oh, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, let us know what you make from this song. But I think just going through that process change has made me go from like a what the heck are you doing cube to more of a Soyeon endorser of the music and the concept and the music and I think the sampling of like the different like random like musical styles I think has grown on me over time. But it definitely plays off of that dumb, what is it like? I want to say it's almost like a 1 out of 5 like melody or harmony in the chorus that makes you feel like, okay, it's kind of like fumbling around, dumb sound to it, but a very catty, flirty style as well.
Yeah, and like that whole cabaret thing you're talking about too.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it goes along. Yeah, same set of instruments that you would use in like a cabaret production, and they've got that visually shown in the music video as well. I think the other thing that stands out in this is Yuki. I think she really, you can hear she gives, I think it's on the second chorus or second pre-chorus, or I think it's second chorus, yes. She gives different energy. So I just love that. And I don't know, her voice just really carries through in this song in particular.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so DJ John, tell us what your hit replay is.
All right. So my hit replay is Seulgi's 28 Reasons. I don't know if I got 28 reasons why, but I do like the song.
28 reasons 몰라도 돼 나쁜 의도 없어 내게 더 28 reasons 다 아는데 왜 또 다시 내게 기대 낯선 끌림 무기력한 너를 봐 feel so bad 정글하게 보여줄게 I'm not the devil 너것도 원망해 I don't care 망가질수록 나를 원해.
All right, so on October 4th, on the first day of the release, the album exceeded 143,682 copies on the Hanto chart. Is that how you
Wait,
pronounce that?
is that a lot? Like, I don't even know anymore. Like,
That's a lot. That's a
Okay.
lot of albums.
okay.
143,000 albums is a lot. Yes. It's not nothing. And, you compare it to, I don't know, in America, where like people freak out if Taylor Swift does 500,000 in a week or first day or whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a good sense of scale to compare with this.
Yeah, that's a big deal. So, they're not, Seulgi is still killing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I just like the sounds of it, and I just like the artisticness of it, and the music videos, dark and cinematic. But yeah, the sounds, just like the percussion and her singing is top notch, and yeah, just the snares are like tasty. It's good. That's my, those are my.
Yeah, it's going off of her dark motif, right? That she's had for a few songs.
Yeah, her and
now.
Irene with Monster and everything,
right?
And then with like Naughty, and then this is definitely like along the same lines of that. It's not like Red Velvet goes there a little bit with like Psycho and things like that too. So,
but I think it even goes with what is that? Girls on Top, like it's, almost like a derivative. I don't mean like that in a negative sense, but like tangentially related conceptually to that as well.
It's part of the like back in the days when people had 5-disc CD changers. Do you remember that? It would like Do you remember that? And it's you would sit there and you'd pick the 5 CDs that put in the changer and hit random. And then it's like, from then on, it's like I kind of use the metaphor of like, yeah, that goes in the 5 CD changer with this, and this. So
I
it's
see.
Girls on Top, Seulgi, and Irene and Seulgi.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, I thought like going back to the Irene Seulgi thing, like there's it's right in the bridge, I want to say, or the last chorus. There's like what Seulgi mirrored in the music video. Did you catch that?
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. I mean, and then also like the SM Scream series, which is the bet. You must know it because you're a DJ.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite remix series of anything, and I hope that they do one for this song.
Oh yeah, this would definitely be a really good candidate for remixing, for sure.
I hope so. And maybe the 10 record too.
Yeah, both the 10 record and this one. I think with both of them, you can take them in a lot of different musical directions, just following the melody of the vocals.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, so let's move on to our hallyu content recommendations, or our hallyu thing that we want to share. So I guess I'll go first because I've got the cute one here. So mine is like light fluff. So Blackpink recently started on their world tour, and like kicking it off in, I believe, Korea. Lisa's fellow Thai friends, Soyeon from formerly of CLC, and Minnie from Soyeon and her backup dancers, I-Dle. They all, the three of them, like regularly hang out, as I understand. So in support of Lisa in kicking off this tour, and I guess Lisa asked for Soren and Minnie to attend her concert to get that support. Nice. Soren created a handmade gift for Lisa in the style, I guess, of a lot of like Thai country singers, where you like make a dress or something like out of like folded dollar bills. So she did that for Lisa, and Soren posted a video of her like going through the process of creating like basically I don't even know what you would call it, but like something, an accoutrement, something for her to wear over, fully made of all these different dollar bills. So
you got to put really a link in the description. Yeah,
we've got it. Yeah, we'll put in a link so you can watch the video if you haven't seen it already. But it was really
you got to see it.
All right, so we were gonna have Virginia talk to her hallyu thing, but she had to dip out. But her hallyu thing content recommendation was the RM and Pharrell interview.
Yeah.
So, which is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Rolling Stone. Is that correct?
Rolling Stone. Yeah.
So like John, it sounds like you've got the background on this one. So what is this? What is this?
So okay, just out of nowhere, Pharrell and RM, Rap Monster from BTS.
Oh, he no longer goes by Rap Monster, but yeah.
What's that?
He no longer goes by Rap Monster. I think
he does.
He was embarrassed by, but
Is that right?
Just RM now. Yeah.
It's still funny. Okay, anyway. So RM and Pharrell had a discussion it was like 20 minutes. and you can watch it on YouTube. And they just talk about things in general, but it's just pretty cool to see them speaking to each other. And, you know, RM idolizes Pharrell, and Pharrell really respects BTS and wants to work with them, which I think, you know, and they were talking
who
about like
doesn't,
working
right?
together.
Like everyone does.
But the thing is that people want to work with Pharrell, you know what I mean? So it's
okay.
like the pairing, and also I'm a huge Pharrell fan, you know, I'm a fan of BTS as well, but Pharrell's been around since the, you know, early 90s, you know? So, I mean, he produced Rump Shaker. Did you know that?
The original. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, he produced all the classics, including NSYNC, Justin Timberlake's half of his first album. So it's like he's already got a little bit of boy band experience, and then I want to see what he does with BTS, like in a couple of years, if and when they go into the studio. That to me would blow my mind, you know, because it's a lot of worlds converging, and it's kind of like, you know, a lot of K-pop is derivative, like throwback sounding. I mean, there's still New Jack Swing and in K-pop, and you know, it's like a lot of R&B, a lot of, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's just like, I want to hear what happens, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, the interview was really cool. It was just like, I think it was just like something for the fans, but it was very interesting to see them talk about stuff, and their shoes were really cool too. So you got to check that out.
Yeah. It's interesting because as you were kind of going through, like, you know, the respective chops, it's like,
yeah,
both very accomplished for the boy group, like pop production, but like,
yeah,
you know, if they were to do something together, it would probably be something appropriate that, you know, one would do following the typical boy band progression. Like I think what you're getting at, like, well, you know, Timberlake after, you know, Backstreet Boys, like where do you go from there?
Yeah, NSYNC. Yeah.
Or NSYNC, excuse me. Shows you how
yeah,
well
don't
I
get
know
the
my
fandom
90s.
mad at you now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that was a horrible mistake to make. Yeah.
No, so that's going to be cool. Because I mean, you know, they're going to be. I mean, who is the oldest member of BTS? He just put the song out with Coldplay.
Oh,
anyway, Jin. He's like 31. So like they're going to be in their 30s, you know, by the time they come back. And Pharrell's like older. He's like, you know, vampire, but he's like older, but they're going to be more mature, you know? So it's like, they're going to be ready to kind of sink their teeth into interesting stuff. And like, you know, so that's why I'm also excited about it. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I think their audience will grow too, right? Like that's not to say that, of course, like armies, you know, have like a diverse, you know, fandom,
but they'll
like,
be 2 years older, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's going to be cool. Anyway, looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay, John, DJ John.
Okay.
Tell us about your thing.
So Stray Kids, 143, the album Maxident, you know, shout out JYP, shout out Republic Records. Okay, so the album went gold, like, you know, in a week. I don't even know if it was a day or whatever, a week, but it sold like 100,000 units. And I think it got a Billboard #1, but I don't see nothing about Stray Kids anywhere on the radio or in America, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And to put it into perspective, okay, so for example, Blackpink, right? They get 100 million, like almost 100 million views in a day when their first single from the new album dropped, right? Venom, Pink Venom. And Nicki Minaj, who is great, she dropped, you know, the Rick James, whatever, you know, this is a new song.
Yeah, the freaky,
and, Super Freaky Girl. And it got like I looked on YouTube, it had like 6 million views, and it was like a week after it had dropped. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I just look at that and I'm just like, okay, what is going on? You know, like ratio to quote Twitter. It's just kind of like, hey man, like, all right, these acts on these major American labels are doing these numbers on these platforms, right? That everybody uses, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, why aren't they being represented? Party people, come on. Like, is it because of xenophobia? Is it because of racism? Is that? And I was speaking to some colleagues who, you know, will remain nameless, but their opinion is they have good opinions. And, you know, one of them was telling me, like, the music industry looks at K-pop as kind of like a thing that they have no idea what to do with. until it gets so big that they can't ignore it. And what they're going to do is, this is capitalism. They're going to jump on it as soon as it becomes big enough where it's just like, okay, we can't contain it. Well, they're not trying to contain it, but it's like, it's so crazy that we have to address it. Right now, it's to that point. I feel like there is a tipping point. BTS obviously is crazy.
Yeah.
So eventually somebody's going to have to like do something. But word on the street is apparently right now the music industry has no plans for K-pop.
What do you mean by that? So what does it mean to have?
They're not going to promote K-pop. Like they have records and they're going to do the bare minimum. And I've seen that. I mean, like you look at social media, you know, like I see Interscope and Republic are the only ones really saying anything about Blackpink or you know, I-Dle or whatever. And it's just basically reporting that something has happened. Like, oh, the video came out, you know? Blackpink's own social media accounts and maybe, you know, YG or whoever, they're pushing it. You know, they're saying, oh, this is what's happening. This is what's on the charts and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to all these shows and stuff and doing all this stuff. They come here, you know, Black people be on Colbert, but I don't see no Stray Kids on anything up here. I don't see them. I see BB on Good Morning America, but that's because like she's down with 88 Rising and that's a whole different animal. But I just look at stuff like this and I'm just like, I think it's too big to ignore. And I kind of feel like the music industry is, I don't know. It's like they're really stagnant about this and they need to be proactive.
Are there other points in the music industry's like history where like let's say it was like quote unquote Latin music or
hip hop?
Yeah, I was gonna like say go all the way back to hip hop, like where they just like had to evolve.
Yes. I mean, think about it this way. The ironic and hilarious thing about K-pop is that it's exactly in the same position that hip hop was in like 1980, like in the 80s, like when like Rapper's Delight came out and was just like, you know, this huge breakthrough record, and then everyone just thought hip hop was a joke. You know what I mean? It's like they all had this idea that, oh, okay, that's just what hip hop is, talking about, you know, going to your grandmother's friend's house and eating gross dinner. Yeah, okay, haha, you know? And then it started to become serious because this is music that was like actually legit music. And then eventually, based on like how the success of it, you know, radio couldn't ignore it. But for a long time, rock radio was very kind of like, we don't know what that is, you know? And it sounds angry. We don't like it. And in this case, we have the rap industry, which is, you know, the music industry. For the most part, it's just like, you know, it's the number one format in the country. And they're sitting there going, I don't know what this is. What is this K-pop stuff? You know, Joe Budden, I don't like him. I don't like those BTS blank. You know what I mean? And you get all of that from like this community. And it's fun. I mean, the industry. And it, to me, it's just kind of like, this is America. This is a capitalist society. You guys need to get on board with this because it's going to take over. You know,
but surely, like, you know, looking to the boy bands of the late 90s and just pop of that era, you would think that we would be receptive.
Well, that's the irony. That's the irony. It's just like people that are kind of like complacent and cush in their jobs and they just like get used to a certain thing. They look at something else and they're just like, oh, I don't know what to do with this because it's a different country. It's a different language. And then also, you know, if you try to do something with like Red Velvet or, you know, even Twice or I-Dle, it's kind of like they're already superstars. So they're not necessarily going to come. And I guess it's the same thing with Stray Kids. It's like even though they're newer, so I feel like they would do a little bit more work, you know, but they're not going to go to some radio station out in the middle of nowhere and, you know, just like try to promote and like be responsive to things. I don't know. It's just, it's a tough thing because they're already famous elsewhere. So going somewhere else and having to kind of start over on the K-pop side, it's a little bit like whatever. But I really think that if someone in the music industry or some people in the music industry tried to, you know, make it happen for K-pop in a major way. I said this on our Slack. There's a guy named Leo Cohen who is MCA from the Beastie Boys is older. He founded Def Jam with Russell Simmons. Anyway, he started a label called Asylum, and it was for the already platinum rappers in Texas. And so, you know, people like Slim Thug and the Color Changing Clique, Paul Wall, and all those guys back in the early 2000s, late 90s, they were already platinum out of their car trunks. You know what I mean? So they were selling CDRs and they already sold 1 million albums, but they wanted the fame and recognition. So Lior built this label called Asylum, and one of my buddies worked there for a long time. And so they gave major distribution, and they kind of treated it as an independent record deal. So that was interesting. And I feel like if somebody did that for K-pop, it could work, because to me, it's like, it's almost like you just have to grease the wheels. The data has already been collected. This is what sells with kids. Sure, there might be some cultural differences, but the data's there.
I get the impression 88 Rising is trying to do that, right? No? Am I mistaken?
They're doing it in a different way. They're trying to do some stuff, but with K-pop, it's different because, I don't know, like 88 Rising is like a hip hop and R&B kind of label, you know? So they're more like doing rappers. Like BB is like a soul artist, you know? And she's a rapper and stuff, you know? But it's not like K-pop. She's like a solo act. 88 Rising doesn't really have like K-pop groups, you know?
Uh-huh. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
So it's all interesting.
I don't know. When you earlier at the front, when you were saying like you've heard from like industry reps, like, can you tell us who? can you tell us like who are the individuals, or like what, or maybe even the profile, the type, if you don't want to.
Well, it's just promotion people, you know, the people that are working for major labels that are in promotion and work with the artists. So for example, and I definitely don't want to give any names or anything.
Sure.
Apparently Blackpink is not the easiest to work with because of logistics. You know, you would think that they all travel around together and in a van, and it's all fun, and the girls, you know, they're all sisters, et cetera, et cetera.
No, I can see that.
They each have entourages and different things. So it's like 4 bands trying to get together to do one thing. And so it's difficult to move them from one place to the other. And a lot of the times it's just kind of unnecessary. It's like, you know, in people's opinions, because it's just kind of like, can't you guys just meet up and like join together and just go do this thing? It's like, they all each have to have their own everything. And then, you know, that's how things get done. And unfortunately, it's just like, that's what it is. But that's what I mean about like the fact that they're already royalty. So they don't really have to do much. But the fact that they, you know, their video's sitting at almost 500 million and it just came out like a month ago, and that the record label's not really pushing them, and we're not hearing them on the radio. It's weird. It's weird to me.
But maybe that's what's logistically blocking it. Just that these artists have become such full-scale productions with like, you know, multiple entourages who have to do all these different, like, you know, commercial deals and solo projects, that working abroad overseas to do these promotional, typical, like, you know, domestic promotional activities. Maybe that's what's, you know, making it, you know, harder for promoters to do their thing.
I think so. Well, for the record promoters, I think so.
Yeah, record promoters,
it's a tough thing, but it to me, it's like, it just shouldn't be. It's like, this is what the kids want. Here's a product that kids in America want, and they're teenagers, and there's a giant void. There's like no more boy bands. Everything is like I think I said this earlier. It's either like Baby Shark songs, or it's like straight up like, I'm going to kill you, and I have, you know, $10 million. And
like nothing in between.
I'm going to steal your girlfriend. Those are all the messages that you have, one or the other. There's no in between. And even back in the days when like Selena Gomez and Tim, you know, they were all Disney kids, you know, Miley Cyrus and stuff. It was just fun teenage party music that also like transcended, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, that's what a lot of K-pop is. It's just like, it's good dance music, and at the same time, it's good, clean fun. So like, you don't have to have the pressure of being like super adult when you're a teenager.
Right.
You know, I think that's a good message. And I feel like people should get behind that. And I think it would sell because they're selling physical copies. That's the other thing. Taylor Swift sold physical copies. This is like 1,000 groups that have physical copies of stuff that kids will buy.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let's move along here. We got to wrap up. Yeah. So let's move on to our Daebak or not section. So like, are you essentially glass half full or half empty? And the thing about to list, right? All right. So are you Daebak or not on V Live shutting down?
Shutting down. You got to tell me what happened.
So I wish Virginia was on for this. I think she would have added a lot more context. But essentially, V Live was acquired by Hybe. I don't know. I want to say like a year ago or something thereabouts. And if you didn't already know, V Live is like this like parasocial like network platform where like you can essentially do these like live streams to your fandom, and then you can have those live streams recorded, and you know you got different like paid tiers to access that content, if I understand correctly. So you know, prior to its acquisition, a lot of different artists used V Live, but with it shutting down, the artists who chose not to move over to Hybe's new thing, like their new like V Live equivalent, are essentially losing their content. So, and like, you know, some of the content on V Live comes from, you know, groups who are no longer active, right? Like companies who are no longer around. So, you know, stuff is being lost in that transition. So, but even for the companies who are still active but maybe just didn't do anything, it's once again fallen on the fans to kind of fill in for that gap. So a lot of fans have started recording and lifting stuff off of V Live to save it. But it's caused some fans to be unhappy in the process in the move over to Weverse. So anyway, are you Daebak or not on it?
I would say not. That's not good. How about you?
I don't know. I get like at the same time, like I can kind of see where Hybe is coming from. Like well,
they're making business decisions, but you're talking about just V Live shutting down out of context.
I don't know. This is just the way of things. Like I'm gonna go like I'm gonna cheat here and say I'm like meh. I am both Daebak and not about it because like like I totally understand where Hybe is coming from. Like you can't. I don't know. I guess that maybe they could have used the existing platform and just kind of upgraded it over time, but
they could have just turned into like K-pop Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think like fundamentally, like crucially, this is a PR communications issue. Like they just didn't communicate to their user base well enough ahead of time that, hey, some content is going to be lost, or you know, what's going to happen with the content from the companies who are no longer active on the platform.
Right.
And then providing a space for that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Are you Daebak or not on Triple S, the 24-member unit? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. I'm also Daebak. So Triple S, they're a group that's going to have like multiple subunits. They did their first drop song, and I think their first song is actually pretty good.
Acid Angel from Asia, AAA.
Yes.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah, and then as they went into the elevator at the end, it was like the brighter version. So maybe that's like the tease of the next subunit.
They just they're going to just hand it off.
As we were saying right before the episode, it's kind of like in the vein of NCT,
right?
Luna, AKB.
AKB48. That's what I was thinking. It was just like, it's AKB48 all over again. Except half the numbers, but still.
That's a lot. 24 is a lot.
Well, I wonder why that was formed and who greenlit it and was just like, maybe they looked at AKB and said, hey, that's a good idea, or what? Because I don't remember any K-pop group that's that big, but like NCT, I guess, but they were never like, were they like a thing, like with all of the members kind of like as a thing, or did it, I feel like didn't they start and then they just added members? How did that work? I don't remember.
With
NCT.
AKB or NCT, if I recall correctly, they did subunits first.
Yeah.
And then they actually largely kept to those subunits. And it was kind of like a weird way for like Lee Soo-man to allegedly scale and localize the group across different regions. But I don't think that that original vision ever really took off. And really I think, frankly, fundamentally what you're getting is just, a half dozen different groups.
Right.
And I think realistically speaking, we're probably going to get the same thing here with Triple S. And I think that's fine. Like it's another way of saying like, we're going to launch a bunch of talent, but give us the flexibility to mix and match them how we want for each song.
Which K-pop group has the most members besides this? Like I know 17 has 13 members.
Oh, I'm not even sure. Probably like NCT, 13? Right?
Well, no, I mean besides like NCT.
In one? I don't know.
Yeah, that go out on stage and do stages all together. And stuff. They're not doing it with
I'm not sure.
17.
Yeah, maybe.
Has 13 members.
Yeah. I don't know.
Luna, maybe?
I'll leave. There's got to be another group that has more than 13 members. All right, we'll figure it out. I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, right. Okay. Are you Daebak or not on K-pop on Broadway?
I don't know if I'm Daebak, but I understand why it's good. It's just spreading the word.
Mm-hmm.
But, in terms of, I don't know, man. I'm not really Daebak on Broadway in the first place.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I mean, I like some Broadway stuff like Hamilton, Mm-hmm. Some of it is a little bit, I don't know.
But not this production.
Yeah, I mean, I saw like the Good Morning America performance with, who was on that? Kevin Wu or something?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, man, it's cool. It's just, to me, it's almost like K-pop isn't even a thing yet in America. It's like, it hasn't, it hasn't broken mainstream other than like BTS. People don't even know who Blackpink is. You know what I mean? When I'm just talking to everyday people. And so like for there to be like a K-pop Broadway thing already. And then the fact that I think
that's why they're selling it as a Broadway thing. Cause it's like the novelty of the world of K-pop. And so, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why they're trying to sell it.
Okay. I mean, I'll defer to you on it. It sounds like you're Daebak.
No, I think I'm also not on it.
What the heck?
I am like pro Asian Americans, getting more of them on Broadway and like accurate representations of like Asians in media. And I think it's awesome that you've got a lot of a few former K-pop idols in this production.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know if this is the right way to do it. I don't know if this is the right story and the right format. I think what would have been better if there's a different story focus that involved K-pop, but wasn't using K-pop as like the hook, if that makes sense.
I know what you're saying. I kind of just keep thinking that it's a little bit out of order, Like, for example, when hip hop was new, we had movies in the early 80s like Beat Street and Breakin'. And it was about hip hop and Wild Style and Style Wars and stuff. And, and that was about the hip hop scene and something that was just like, oh, this is interesting. We're going to put this in theaters and people are going to go into a world that they know nothing about. There has been no K-pop movie. And I really think that if like they're going to do like a Broadway thing, something needs to happen first to put it in all of America's households. And Broadway play to me is just like, that's after like the success happens. Then you do a Broadway thing about it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
if
guess,
you agree with that though.
Like it's like saying, I don't know, maybe this is a bad analogy, but it's like, you don't want to have like Asian Americans, the movie.
Well, they had Crazy Rich Asians.
But that's what I want to say. Like, it was like, okay, this is more on, old money conflict. That was the story, right? And it wasn't such that like the focus of the story was just to say we're trying to get Asians on screen. That was a side effect, right? Like that wasn't the main thing driving the plot.
Well, that's also because they wanted to sell tickets. And the only way to do it is just to make it into the cookie cutter stuff that like is a kind of a Western thing, except it's got facets of Asian culture in it, Chinese culture specifically. But it's like, I don't know. To me, it's like they had to make it so it was so Western and kind of homogenized that like
it
general
sold out in the process. Yeah.
And it's sold out. You have to, otherwise nobody's going to pick it up.
All right, let's move on to our next item here.
Let's move on.
So are you Daebak or not on Jackson Wang's League of Legends song?
Yeah, I mean, Yes. Daebak. Jackson. He's the man.
Yeah. Oh man, I also wish we had Virginia for that. I think she is fully
She Thurston.
Team
So
Wong.
yeah, she would give us some good stuff.
Yeah. No, I
Jackson
think it's
got the
a
app.
good song, and it was cool seeing him follow the tradition of Soyeon doing
Right.
another League of Legends virtual group I-Dle singer
True.
thing. Yeah, 88 Rising.
Which brings us to the next thing.
Okay, yes, next thing. So Soyeon 4-year anniversary, featuring other members of KDA. So it's the KDA 4-year anniversary. Are you Daebak or not on that?
Daebak, definitely.
Yeah, I think they
know you
left like I still play their original song, Pop Stars, like
Oh yeah.
at anime conventions and some like, nerd K-pop adjacent gigs. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's still going strong.
That's awesome.
Okay. Are you Daebak or not on La Seraphim's Anti-Fragile?
Daebak, definitely.
Yeah, it's a good song. La Seraphim is actually La Seraphim and New Jeans are like both really killing it, honestly.
They are
in spite of
killing
all
it.
the controversy. Like they've had some really
Hey,
good
can
songs.
I say something controversial?
Oh, please.
Bring back Kim Garam. Thank you.
All right. There you go.
I know no one will agree with me, but it's just like I think she got a raw deal.
What's your social handle so people can let you know if they
Oh
disagree?
yeah, can get mad at me at DJ John Maine, MAINE.
there you go.
And you can go to
Directly right there,
djjohn.com and like that, and just like if you want to troll me. But I just have
Yeah.
that opinion because I just don't like the way all of that went down. It was just really sad, and I think Twitter is a toxic place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The fact that like Twitter and I guess Instagram, but anyway, I feel like those social platforms treated it differently than Reddit.
Mhm.
That it just says something about the platform itself. It's not necessarily what happened or what didn't happen. It's what blows up and what some anonymous person can do to get either recognition or attention or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's like the fact that it doesn't happen on other platforms is just like telling. It's just like, nah, man,
Yeah, that is
that's not
interesting.
real. That's not real. So that's just my opinion.
Okay. Next item. New Jeans' official rabbit stick. I mean, bunny light stick.
That's funny. Daebak, totally.
Yeah?
Well, how about you? Where's Virginia?
I'm trying to decide how I feel about this. I'm going to go not.
Yeah. Okay. What are your reasons?
No. I'm going to go Daebak. No, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
going to go Daebak. I'm sorry, flopping, but yes, I'm going to go Daebak. No, it's good. I think the fans are rightly seeing like, yeah, it's a cute bunny thing, and they're such precious, innocent kids. So good
Yeah,
for
and
them.
if you want to, you got to look in the link in the description because like if you don't know what the light stick looks like, you'll laugh.
Yeah. So it's good. It's unique. It's, I think the worst thing that you could have as a light stick is if it just blends in with all the other ones, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. Are you Daebak or not on President Biden trying to get K-pop and Swifties votes by investigating concert fees? Because we're just ahead of the midterm elections.
Is that what
here.
he's trying to do?
Well,
By
on
tweeting
November
that?
3rd, so a day before the recording of this episode,
Mhm.
the POTUS Twitter account tweeted, I know hidden junk fees, like processing fees on concert tickets, are a pain. They're unfair, deceptive, and add up. That's why last week I called on my administration to crack down on these fees and put that money back in your pocket.
There you go.
So,
But why did you take that as meaning Swifties and K-pop only?
well, truthfully, this is stemming from Todd in our Slack, who was on the last episode,
Okay.
but he said like, oh, President Biden's really trying hard to get the K-pop vote.
I feel like he's got the K-pop vote. I mean, I don't know how many MAGA K-pop people there are. Maybe there's some. What do you think? Do you know? Is there data on that?
Yeah. You know what it really is though, John? Like, in my opinion, like it's not that K-pop fans are going to vote for the MAGA crazy conspiracy the candidates. It's just more that you got to do something to energize your base such that they actually show up and vote.
Oh, you mean like, getting more people to vote. Yeah. No, I get it. I just also think it's like, I don't never disagree with Todd because he's a wise man. He knows what he's talking about. At the same time, it's like this controversy with Ticketmaster being insanely horrible was going on with like every other artist too, like rock artists, like Pearl Jam and whoever else back in the days. And, it's always been a thing. So,
yeah, it's a pervasive dark side issue. But
anyway.
yeah, across the industry.
So I'm definitely Daybach on Biden, like trying to like get people to come out and vote. Come on. Yeah. Like I try to do that too.
Okay. Well, that wraps it up for Daybach or not items. I think final point of the discussion and closing for this episode, we don't really have much to say. Honestly, it sounded like Virginia had more comments on this.
She did.
But I guess we just want to leave space for the Itaewon Stampede and the really just that entire tragedy. Like I don't know what to say, but I just wanted to hold a space for it in the episode and to acknowledge it.
Do you remember like when you learned about it, like what you were thinking?
I mean, do you ever think about it, John, like as a DJ, like, things you can do for crowd control?
Definitely. I mean, yeah, because so many concerts and things, people getting like hurt. Mm-hmm. There's so much history. But yeah, with this, well, from what Virginia was saying, it's like it could have been avoided, and it was, there's some finger pointing going on, and it could be because of like the current administration's kind of siphoning off some of the, wasn't she saying that? Like
the police so that he can go visit his shaman or whatever.
Yeah, so he could go do something, and so he was using the resources and kind of didn't take care of this, and now they're kind of covering it up and whitewashing it or whatever. I mean, that's really kind of here nor there, I guess, because it's like hopefully people can learn from mistakes. Mm-hmm. Even if they're trying to cover it up, maybe they still learn from this, and they're like, we don't want this to happen again in the future moving forward. But at the same time, it's really about, mourning the loss of the victims and, and their families and what they must be going through. It's just, I can't imagine. It's so heartbreaking. I had a friend that just went to Korea just to go hang out. And he was talking about hanging out with some record labels and maybe do some stuff with hip hop or whatever. And I was like really worried that he was in that. And so I emailed him and it's like, bro, like hit me back. Are you okay? And luckily he answered me within like 6 or 7 minutes and was like, yeah, dude. And he just kind of laughed. And I was like, shh, that's not funny, man. Like, cause like he totally could have been at that.
Right.
I heard that there were some like people that were in K-pop that passed away too, or maybe one person.
Probably. Right. But I don't know. Just given the number of bodies and,
it's just so horrible.
And,
I mean, just to suffocate, like just, I can't, it's just like horrible. It's just horrible.
Yeah. I think what like just compounds the tragedy is just part of like what's causing it is like some selfish, I just want to party. I just want to have fun. Mm-hmm. Like, there were reports of people who were still trying to, enjoy themselves as it was happening, as bodies were being piled up on the street. And you also heard reports of like businesses who maybe could have done something to lighten the impact, but chose not to because they don't, like, who are these people to climb up on my, business? I don't want that here. So
terrible.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was also preventable just because like you could, going back a few years pre-pandemic, it was a very popular event. So surely there could have been some public investment in crowd control, anticipating this.
Oh, of course. Yeah. But hindsight 2020 and people are just not thinking about it. It's funny. It's like, I think the most tragic thing about is that people, after being cooped up for 3 years, finally get to go have a good time. And this happens, what I mean?
Well, that's why, right? Like, that's why it was like such an issue, because it was all that,
it's so sad.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, it really, like hearing the descriptions of what happened, it just like, it was like Train to Busan or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like horrible, or just like World War Z type levels, just people trying to survive and then people not getting the communication at the end of the crowd, and then they keep pushing it. It's just like, oh man, it's just, I don't know, just makes me like sick in my stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note,
anyway,
hopefully
let's plug our thing. So, not that we're trying to profit off of tragedy here,
I know
but
the segue.
just we need to end this episode. So you can continue the discussion. How about that? You can continue the discussion, talk to us about this, or share your thoughts. You can tweet all of us at the Kpopcast, at the Kpopcast on Twitter, if Twitter is still around next week.
That's right.
Or I think we're probably on other social platforms as well. We also got our Slack again, so
the
we'll give another
Spotify.
plug for that. Yeah, or I don't know if there's a way for people to engage via Spotify, but there's
can
that.
they leave comments yet on Spotify or no? That's
I don't think so.
YouTube they can, and there's a K-Popcast page on YouTube. So
oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. You can comment.
All right. How about you, DJ John? Where can people find you?
I got some stuff. Well, okay. You can find me on Twitter. Twitter at DJ John Main, DJJohn.com. And I got like the mixtapes and stuff. Anyway, and so do you.
Yes.
But then I'm working with 88 Rising to do an interview with this guy, Spence Lee, who's a new signee. Yeah. So we're going to talk about, he's from Jersey. So I think we're going to do an interview coming up. So hopefully, just be on the lookout for that. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm just looking him up right now. On God, it looks like he just had song that
he's like a rapper. So it's like, hip hop. He's not like a K-pop artist, but it's like, I'm going to ask him some questions about like being Korean American and like that.
Okay, well, catch you all again next time. Be sure to follow the things and stay tuned. We're working on our big year-end episode. So if you've got award categories that you want to suggest to us, we're brainstorming topics right now, such as like most banger clinger or best ho anthem in K-pop.
Right now, what do you think the biggest record is of the year? What do you think?
My Bag.
My Bag by I-Dle.
Soyeon featuring I-Dle, yeah.
Is that right? That's your number one pick, huh? For right now?
Like we're gonna break it up into like objective best, like taking my biases aside. So it's probably not going to be that in like the like the top 10, but for my personal pick category, it's probably going to be My Bag or this really corny song from Rolling Quartz, Ice on Fire. I love it. It's so
they
corny,
are so good. Yeah, they're really good. I really like them.
Yeah, but it's between those two songs for my personal favorite.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, catch you all later. Thanks everyone for tuning in.